no easy task. As you can see, plumes of smoke right up into the sky above the port of Beirut. There are ambulances obviously getting onto the scene. That ties in with what the health ministry is saying. Large numbers of people injured. As it's evident, given something on that scale. We've seen people covered in blood, people emerging from the rubble of buildings where they were in, windows blown out of office blocks, apartment blocks, cars turned upside down. It's clear that this is something that has not been seen in the Lebanese capital for many decades. An enormous explosion that has caused damage at a very wide radius. We don't yet have any numbers for you with regard to how many people have been injured, but what is clear is that for a very wide area there has been massive damage to buildings, massive damage to offices, and power is out in much of the city anyway. Even before this explosion, there were power cuts 20 hours a day or more in some parts of Beirut, meaning that connecting to the outside world is not altogether easy, and therefore we do not have, at this particular moment, anyone able to speak to us. But as you can see, the soldiers are on the ground trying to bring some order to the area and also trying to seal it off, because people were going freely to and from that area, and there is potentially the risk of a further blast given the scale of what has happened there. And of course the soldiers doing their best to make sense of an extremely complicated situation that they're in. That is the latest we have for you from Beirut. Large numbers of injuries, large numbers of casualties expected, no numbers for you yet. All we have are these shocking images from the heart of a thriving Middle Eastern capital, the city of Beirut, which has been turned to a scene of total chaos in the last hour by an explosion, some say more than one explosion, which happened in the port area, which, for those of you who know the Lebanese capital, is very close to the center. And there you can see crowds standing in disbelief on the sides of the road in Beirut as emergency vehicles make their way to and from the scene of that explosion. And if indeed it caused damage to people a number of kilometers away and to buildings a number of kilometers away, one can only assume that the area affected in a very serious way by that explosion is going to be large, and the extent of the damage is going to be extraordinarily shocking. Huge plumes of smoke going up into the air. That is the scene in Beirut at the moment, with soldiers on the ground, emergency services going to and fro as people try to make sense of what has happened to the Lebanese capital in the last hour or so. We first received reports just after 5 p.m. Paris time, just over an hour ago, that a huge explosion had shaken Beirut. We saw witness videos posted on social